This is Dave Meltzer with Entrepreneurs the Playbook, and I have two lovely entrepreneurs here with me, Heather Askinosie and Timmi Jandro.
Hi.
Did I nail that?
You
I had to
did.
use a cheat sheet, but I had to do it. And you guys are the founders of Energy Muse, and I love having you here because it's like my worlds collide. When we're talking about the playbook, this is the playbook to success, and you guys are incredible entrepreneurs. Have been doing it for almost 20 years, building a business, building a brand. But I'm really interested in how you reconcile the hardcore, resistant-filled, void, shortages, and obstacles of being two women entrepreneurs, and yet you're in the space of what I'm most interested in allowance, which is the universe working together in your favor. So let's start at the very beginning. How'd you guys found this business together?
Well, I was selling high-end real estate in Manhattan Beach in the 80s. And
So
I
you
had
decided to go for the big bucks and sell crystals?
I did. So, yes, exactly. So I had a Fortune 500 executive come in town, and he said, "Hey, look, I'm going to buy a lot of real estate from you, but it has to have good feng shui." And this was 27 odd years ago, and I'm like, "Say what?"
Yeah, right on.
And he's like, "It's feng shui, so figure it out, and we'll go from there." So I ended up going into this room, and I learned classical feng shui, which is based on mathematics, and ended up selling him a lot of real estate. And what I learned through that period is that there was this whole world of energy that existed that I couldn't see, but was very much there. And it took me on a journey of learning about a lot of different things. Meditation, I learned transcendental dental meditation. I studied with healers. I took the money from real estate and I traveled the world and I learned a lot of different things. But I landed on the big island of Hawaii because I am a researcher and I am a very analytical person and things have to make logical sense to me. And this woman laid all these rocks on my body. And I went into this space of, whoa, this is what it feels like to not be type AAA. And this is what it feels like to be grounded. And this is what it feels like. And this is what it feels like to feel. And so for me, it started this whole world. And I came back and I wanted to incorporate feng shui and the gems. So I created a necklace called Prosperity, which was based on three coins tied with string to bring money. I gave it to 10 people. Timmy was one of them, and all 10 people came back, because I said, I want you to wear it for 10 days. All 10 people came back and said something happened after wearing this necklace. And Timmy was in the garment industry.
Before, I have one question, because as someone that has lived a journey similar to yours, going from a highly competitive, scarce, capitalistic view of the world into a more logical, substantive, energetic view of the world, what do you think occurred, or why or how did you attract that guy into your life?
I think that for me, I looked really good on paper, but I wasn't content. And I didn't even know it. And I think that this man, I look at him as an angel. He was a fork in the road for me. Because of him, he changed my life. And I think that I believe we all have a destiny. We all have a gift. And it was time for me to tap into that. And my gift, I have to say, if I didn't have the passion doing what I'm doing, because you know what, I'm selling crystals. And for many years, normally this conversation probably wouldn't have happened a year ago. We've owned a company for 20 years because we've been selling crystals to the top people in the world. They just don't talk about it. Now it's okay to have this conversation.
Right, guys like me even wear them. And
Exactly. And we're twinsies because I got the same one on as you. So the thing is that I think that we have to listen to our soul. We have to listen to our truth. And sometimes that will override a lot of things. And It did for me. So.
And Timmy, you were the test dummy, no offense.
Yeah, I was a test for a lot of things, even her feng shui at the time.
But you were like looking on from the apparel side, like the business side, or were you like super spiritual and like, this will be killer?
Not at all. I was not super spiritual at all. I had just come down from a beaten time in the garment industry where I had this gentleman that I worked for who was so hard, and he would like literally scream at me and his veins would pop out and he's like, go sell. And I was selling all the big box retailers, but I lost myself. There was not 1 ounce of femininity left in me. And I was cooked. I was done. My marriage was on the rocks. I was traveling up a storm. And Heather gave me this necklace. And I knew nothing about crystals, but I felt something. And I knew how to get them made. So we've been friends since first grade.
Oh, very cool.
I said,
And we're still friends. Huge
Yeah.
accomplishment.
I've been
I
friends
think.
with my wife since the 4th grade.
Oh,
And we're still friends.
Oh
That's
my God,
amazing.
that's
She didn't
so
like
cute.
me. She didn't date me till I was older. I liked her. I asked her to go steady in 6th grade camp.
Oh my God, that's so
She said
cute.
no. I threw an egg at her.
well, you were persistent, right? Through it.
Very persistent and consistent.
And
Anyway.
consistent,
That's
right?
the key to life.
That's
the secret.
right. So Heather gave me the necklace. I felt something. I knew how to get it made. I go, let's join forces. I'm out of a job. I quit. I'm like, I need to regroup. And literally, we started selling these prosperity necklaces out of the trunks of our car on the streets of Manhattan Beach, California.
Yeah.
Word grew. People heard about it. We want to get some of that prosperity. We want to wear this. And that is literally, we have had no business plan. Probably not a very smart thing, but we are strategists.
But your business plan adheres to why I trace calligraphies, wear bracelets, and put intention into every sip of water that I have. I always tell people, when you're looking at something like this, look and see what risk there is. You know, when I went to Mexico City, they talked about how you created an infinite life by cutting off your own head. I'm like, if I'm wrong, the risk seems pretty
Yeah.
high compared to like wearing a cool bracelet
Yeah.
Right.
or tracing calligraphies or looking at water. You know, the interesting thing is you hit all the key components for the mass appeal for what you do. There's no risk, and you give them an opportunity to do something that may actually work. And I always say, if there's no risk, try it, and if it works, keep it.
Yeah, I mean,
And I think your business is built on that basic premise,
We-
without any business plan. That hey,
well,
really
we got
little
lucky
risk.
too. I mean, that
Do you think it's
helped.
luck?
I think that okay. I was feng shuiing people at the time. There's a
love
lady.
us feng
I was
shuiing
feng
people.
shuiing, and one of the people. There were 3 people that gave us a break. One of them was Kristen Davis. It was right before she got on Sex and the City. The other one was Mark McGuire when he was playing, and the other one was Richie Sambora. And so that at that point, when press was pure and things were, we had a very large momentum, and people that were into the leading edge, the people that are the competitors out there. I mean, to this day, Tony Robbins, David Beckham. I'm just talking. I mentioned these people because they could have access to anything in the world, and yet they were tapping into this modality. Maybe not talking about it publicly. Phil Jackson, I think, did he
Was
ever-
wearing it
Yeah.
while he was coaching
the
the
three-peat,
Lakers.
the three-peat.
Yeah.
But I think what happened was it had this momentum because of who was wearing it, and that really helped our
But
business.
I think, all athletes want that competitive edge.
Yeah.
And so whether this was what gave them that, they believed it did, and so it did.
Right, and you guys didn't have to do anything like power balance to.
yeah.
Yeah, we did it. But we kept it really simple, and we put the onus or responsibility back on them. Will this change your life if you wear this? Well, yes. If you believe it will, it will. And so if you put the intention into it, it will manifest. And that was really, it wasn't going to be this healing phenomena. It's back on the person. We're just supplying the tool.
Sure, but Heather, you're a little bit more on the spiritual side as a student of this, like
Yeah.
I am.
Right.
So I that's the pragmatic marketing side, and I fully agree. But I'm a little bit woo-woo, so I sit there going, yeah, if they believe it'll work, if they put the intention, it'll work. But like I truly believe that energetically, even if they don't believe that it still work and it's still working, it's harder to sell it.
Yeah.
But do you believe that side of it, that whether you believe it or not, these things still work?
Yeah, because I think that every civilization since the beginning of time have used crystals for some kind of technology and modality. And if you look at what's happening on LCD screens today, liquid crystal display, the top lasers in the world are made with crystals. I look at them as technology. I look at them as a way to reprogram ourselves on a cellular level. I look at them as a way to go to 0 point. I look at them a lot of different ways. But I don't think things withhold time if there's nothing to it. And if you go back in time, every civilization has used the energy of the earth. So I definitely know that they work. I definitely know there's a logical mind out there. And, yeah. And so, but at the end of the day, isn't our journey back to our heart? How do we feel? That's what got me into all this.
Yeah, and being such a pragmatic spiritual person, very rare I get to meet someone that's so similar to me because it was the math to me that got me involved in quantum healing, theta energy, because I sat next to a healer, a medical doctor who literally told me that I was blocking my light and that she would teach me to meditate to raise my vibration and that I could be aware of more because everything vibrates and you only can be aware of that which vibrates equal to or less than you.
Yeah.
To that end, there's still a lot of fate involved here, and I'd love to hear, because you share the same business, but a little bit different perspective.
Yeah.
I'm listening to your story, and my pragmatic mind is like, these are two shrewd business women with a lot of pragmatic business experience that knew how to market it to the right people, and that's the pragmatic Dave Meltzer. And then the real Dave Meltzer, the one that's been alive for the last 12 years, is going, man, they don't even realize what's going on in the math and technology of that. There's a destiny here. And whether you have any great skill sets or not, or the quantum memory that you have and do execute on every day, that your destiny is even greater than this, that there is a movement that is happening. There's an acceleration of people understanding energy and resistance and abundance. And I see both of you as catalysts to an abundant universe.
Yeah.
And you're just servants to that.
Yeah, we got to get the word out.
Where's that balance, though, for you? Because half the time, even you, Heather, you're like, well, it was luck. And I'm like, she doesn't believe in luck.
Well, I do believe when we show up and we're ready for it, it's a lucky life. I mean, I find my life getting...
A blessed life, right?
A blessed life. I feel the opportunities in my life are becoming more and more every day. And it's also how we see life. But I also believe it's what we choose to believe more than ever. And I think that more and more people are connecting with the energy of the earth, because last time I checked, we need to do something now. We need to reconnect, and we need to get past the fear state.
Yeah, which is... And Timmy, how does that all resonate with you?
Well, because Heather has these grandiose ideas, I think for me, what I try to do, and I've always done, is work with the team to land them and to get them out there so people will understand them, because we've got to talk to the masses so they get it. So a lot of
She's
people...
an interpreter.
She's the transporter. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
She's so good at it.
Well, and people...
Huge gift, by the way.
Well, we're just a good gift together. That we're really a very good partnership. And, a lot of people have said you are the bridge between the woo-woo and the now. And so I think that's a great compliment, because I'll take that, right?
I think that's awesome as well. Now, money, which I believe is the name currency, money is an object of energy that we put into the flow.
Yeah.
And as much as these are earth-shattering and I believe really fabulous, it's a fabulous product and a fabulous idea and with great value, nothing happens without money. And you guys are building a real business. And there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there listening right now going, these three are way out of their mind. But on the other side, probably between the three of us, we make more money than most of the people that are listening.
Probably.
Which is ironic, but truthful. On the pragmatic side, you're reconciling, Timmy, with this woo-woo to the now. One of the biggest now-nows is making a lot of money. What's the purpose of the money in your business, since you have this grandiose vision? Where does money play a role in that?
Well, where it has played a role recently is for our scaling up. So we're really working on scaling up and expanding our lifestyle line. So we started with jewelry. We've now sell tons of crystals, and then we're also working on a whole lifestyle line of scrubs, oils, and soaps, bath bombs.
CBD involved at all?
No,
Okay.
not at this
Yeah,
point.
that's
But
good.
everything's crystal
that's a great business
infused.
model.
I know it is for sure.
We've been
it'll
approached,
piggyback,
but-
I bet.
Yeah. So, I mean, really our brand, it's endless where we can go and have crystal infused products. Clothing, that would be my passion, because that's where I came from. So we need the money to be able to grow the business so that more people can have these tools to help in their life.
That's awesome. And selling that ROI, right? You get caught because some people already know, but the real mass appeal is going to become educating the market of the power of crystals. Because once, it's like CBD. Once we've taken it out of a different brand of, being illegal, let's just say, or even gray market into the main market. I think there's almost been a transition of that with crystals in energy and healing, that I went from a black market where you were a witch, a wizard.
Oh, we've been called that.
Yeah,
Yes.
into a gray market. But I think we are ready for the mass market.
Well, you know, Heather and I were trailblazers in this market. So
Yeah.
we've paved the way for all of these people that have been in it for a lesser time than we have. And you know what? I'm happy about that, because if we didn't have competition, we wouldn't stay on our game, and we wouldn't keep developing products that are on the cutting edge. And so the one thing I think you said, just keeping it simple, that's why Crystal 365 was written. Heather has all this information in her head. And so to keep it into selling it to the masses so they understand it and anyone can go on a crystal journey, that's what Crystal 365 is all about. Then they can visit the website, Energy Muse, and go find those tools to help them with their journey.
And Heather, you obviously are still
Yes.
educating yourself. Timmy, did you join in? Are you going to any of the workshops? Or
I do. I mean, not as much as she does. I kind of get it by osmosis, but, you know, I'm doing other stuff like business related things. So, yeah, I think we both do
And
a
you're
little bit of
so
all of it.
compliment. What are the biggest challenges that you faced, since you are you're old friends, really old friends?
Yeah.
You complement one another. Your strengths are her weaknesses are your strength. But my father told me about partnerships. You know, 3 rules of partnerships: never go into a partnership. 2, if you're going to go into a partnership, make sure your partner has more money than you. And 3, if you don't listen to 1 or 2, go back to number 1. I've been married 22 years to a partner that I've known a long time. She's the perfect person for me. I adore her, but it's difficult at times.
Sure.
And I have a business partner that is my best friend, Hall of Fame quarterback Warren Moon. Trust me, his strengths are my weaknesses. My weaknesses are his strengths. Not easy all the time. What's the biggest challenge that you guys have being such close friends? and
Well, I
having a
think
business?
because we know each other so well, we know when things are not maybe right in our personal lives that kind of can affect our business lives, but we keep that between ourselves and we help each other. But the one thing that Heather and I are really good at is when we don't know what we don't know, we bring in a team of people and we listen. And that is where our egos get set aside and we need help.
What's your least favorite thing about Timmy?
Well, Timmy's a Gemini, so I get 4 people in one, as any Geminis, which I'm a Scorpio, so it keeps me interested. So I think that there's a lot of different dynamics going on, and so, but I like that because it's multidimensional.
Very cool. And vice versa, Timmy.
Well, Heather, I think I love that Heather lives, I would say, sometimes in the ethers because she is always she's a visionary. So she's up there with downloading information, and sometimes it doesn't make her want to be on this planet because normal things would be like, hey, I need to talk to you right at this moment, but she doesn't have her phone because, you know what, she's studying with some shaman somewhere, and yeah, I get it. It doesn't bother me because I know her. That would just be the least thing. Sometimes I need to find her, and she's doing her thing, and I respect that.
That's like one of my gurus, my Aunt Marilyn. I'm like, oh, God, I could not live with you. Which, I'm glad we do video as well because I'm looking at you both. And if someone would tell me who's Heather and who's Timmy, and I'm almost tempted to keep calling you Timmy because she looks so woo-woo and you look so business.
Oh my God! Well, I came in disguise today, guys.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
We have to all come in costume sometime.
Yeah.
I'm like,
But, like your energy. Like
Real- oh my God, this is-
no, your energy's totally
I
woo-woo.
love that.
Your
You might
energy's
be
totally
my
woo-woo.
favorite person.
Your energy's so woo. Like you're sitting there while she's talking and you're channeling. Like your eyes are actually up here. And like for me, this is a super joy because I rarely get the opportunity to have both of my personalities. I'm a Capricorn, so I don't have 4 personalities. But these are my
Yeah.
2 personalities.
I love it.
Right? It's like amazing. Okay, last question. As entrepreneurs, you have really, to stay in business for 20 years is incredible, and to grow and to evolve, and it really is. And, I always say there's no overnight successes, but you guys are really positioned to scale and grow. This is the future. I know that as a pragmatic business person and as someone who goes and talks to my shaman, and I see the future. So what piece of advice would you give? I have 3 daughters. I want them all to be entrepreneurial. I want them, whether it's with their friend or whatever, to believe in themselves. And, as much as I don't want to say it, it was really, really hard to be a woman entrepreneur 20 years ago, let alone today.
True.
And I want you to share, there's more women entrepreneur than men. I'm the Chief Chancellor of Junior Achievement University, and my biggest joy is the competitions have more women than men in the entrepreneurs. And so you guys are such incredible entrepreneurs. If you each could give me your best piece of advice, if you're talking to my 17-year-old daughter who, this is what I would do using all that experience. And I'll start with you, Timmy.
Well, I love this quote by Thomas Jefferson. I use it all the time with my kids. So they're 18 and 21. Learn to fail, fail to learn. And I think just going out there and being vulnerable, because that's what we've had to do for almost 20 years. People didn't accept this. They didn't think this was what we should be doing. I didn't go to school to be a crystal dealer. You know what I mean?
Off the record.
Yeah, but guess what? My business, what I learned in business school actually helped me with what I do now. But I just think you have to fail to learn. And so many people are so stuck on it has to be perfect. But if you didn't fail, you wouldn't know that something better is there.
That's awesome.
With my son, who's 18, I think nowadays, because this new generation of younger people coming in, I think it's important for him to be him and to be yourself and knowing who you are and have a voice and have something to say that's authentic, but also that is be transparent. We live in a world now that the more real people could feel when someone's real. And no one wants to be sold, and everyone just wants to have connection. So connect to something, and then have it be as pure as possible, and it will be magnificent.
So when I was with Dr. Beckwith yesterday for the
He's the best.
he's like, do you or you're done.
That's
right. Yeah. Learn to do you, learn to love you, or you're done. Well, we are done a little bit over time, but it was so worth it. Well, I look forward to promoting this business, increasing my customerhood of this business, because you both are so impressive. I feel like, oh my gosh, if there was an ideal woman, I'd just merge you together.
We'll let our husbands know that.
I won't let my wife know either.
He'll be like,
but this is like talking to myself, my whole self. You guys are so incredible. You should be so proud of yourself, and I'm happy to be of service. We have the founder of Energy Muse, Timmi Jandro, and Heather Askinosie, here with Dave Meltzer, Entrepreneurs, The Playbook.